Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is our week in review. It was a solid week, but I'll tell you, I don't really think there's too much newsworthy stuff to discuss. So I hope not to keep you guys very long. And obviously, we always have a night we like to get to. So let me just talk about what I thought was one of the bigger stories this week. Jacob Fatu is apparently a beast. Solo Sokoa on SmackDown was kind of teasing that he was going to have a confrontation with Roman Reigns, and whoever would emerge from that confrontation would be the tribal chief. And Solo made it clear to Tama, who again they may be doing something with him because he's been kind of staring at the Ulefala, the tribal lay and stuff like that, and almost seemingly like he's hungering for the power. And he says, "Listen, Tom, like if Roman Reigns takes this from me, and it is a big if, he does emphasize if, you acknowledge him and I'll acknowledge him too. But Roman has got to acknowledge me. The only way I can really be a legitimate tribal chief and build my empire is if Roman acknowledges me." So then they have the confrontation in the ring. Roman predictably whoops that ass to a huge pop. I mean, Roman is mega over right now. This is the level of over they've always wanted him to be, and they just let him have that heel run first. I mean, the writing of Roman Reigns for what is it now? Like over 4 years, it feels like. I think has just been so on point, so consistently good. And WWE as a company and Roman Reigns as a performer have earned this payoff as far as the crowd just being so behind him. Takes out Tama Tonga. And I love what Roman does here because the Ulefala is on the ground. He picks it up slowly, and the energy's building in the crowd, right? Like they're getting excited. Then he slowly puts it on, and the arena just explodes. And you could see this look on Roman Reigns' face, like he's awash in this kind of relief, like, oh, I'm keeping the family together. I'm keeping the legacy together. I've got it. I've restabilized everything. Homeostasis has been achieved within the bloodline. And then Jacob Fatu out of nowhere just lays Roman out, gets a hip attack on him, totally looking dominant. And Roman couldn't 1v1 him, even though he 1v1 both Tama and Solo, who's supposed to be like, the new tribal chief. And then they triple power bomb him to end SmackDown as, Solo retakes the lay. And that's kind of how SmackDown goes off the air. So I think this puts over. I mean, me and Javaris said at the exact same time in the Discord, this puts over Jacob massively. So Ashton, I got to ask you, how soon before we get? I know this is kind of entering into fantasy booking territory, but I have to imagine at some point WWE is going to want to do Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns 1-on-1. How soon do you see that happening?
You know, I think we are going to just get that match one on one at some point within the next year or so, maybe like 13 months. Like I could see it happening at next year's SummerSlam or something like that. But I don't think that there's going to be like a title on the line or anything. But I do think that that match is going to happen as far as like it's going to main event a WrestleMania within the next like three WrestleManias.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Dude, I fucking love Jacob Fatu. I wish he didn't get hurt because we did see him in the walking boot. Although he is able to compete, he's going to be defending the SmackDown Tag Team titles alongside Tama
Against the
against
Street
the Street
Profits.
Profits.
Yep.
Yes, they had a really solid match with DIY this week. So I'm just going to get
Yeah,
all
that
the
match
all the
cooked.
dude, it did. Street Profits are so freaking good. I love them. I think they're so talented. And I really got to give a big ups to Angelo Dawkins because, man, that dude has really stepped up his game. He looks so good in there, I feel like. So big ups to Angelo as well. I really like the tag team. Obviously, I don't think Tama and Jacob are going to lose titles yet. I'm amazed Jacob's even able to work, matches now, I guess, even in that boot. But I guess with the style that he works, where like he rarely bumps and stuff because he's supposed to be a monster, that is a creative workaround. So we'll have to see how that all goes. But yeah, man, it's interesting. I am wondering when and how Solo and Roman are going to settle this, and when other people are going to come to the fore for Roman, because clearly what the end of SmackDown illustrated was that Roman cannot do this on his own. I mean, even just 1v1ing Jacob Fatu again, we just saw is no easy task for Roman. So
Yeah,
I
what
have
I
to
love
imagine.
though is that he 2v1 solo and Tama and won handily.
Yes.
So clearly the power of one Jacob Fatu is greater than the power of solo Sokoa and Tamatonga combined.
Yes. Yes. And I'll tell you, man, it's interesting to me because again, we see little flashes of Tama's ambition. Again, looking at the Ulefala and like, do I really want to give this back to Solo? Jacob seems down like completely. Like I think he really is probably the most loyal, in my opinion, in Solo's bloodline, which there's a poetic irony because he's the most powerful. He would be the most capable by far of taking Solo down per what you just said, right? Just the transitive property. Like
Yep.
if Roman can 1v2 you and I 1v1 him, then I could probably 1v2 you guys as well. So yeah, it's really funny how that works out. And again, we already talked about the tag titles. So that's really the major bloodline business. And I guess since I've already started talking about SmackDown, we can finish this up because again, to me, there wasn't too much. Nia's championship ceremony was okay. I do like Pretty Deadly. They did get a laugh out of me. Um, but Mishin interrupts and she like kind of ruins the party with a kendo stick action. So after that, she ends up getting a women's championship match. We don't know when that's going to be. I doubt that that's going to be at Bash in Berlin. Gonna have to catch myself that it's not at, it's in. But yeah, I'm glad that she's getting this rub. I like Michin, man. She's very solid. I
I
like her
definitely did
personality.
not expect this, but I'm happy about it for sure. I'm also on the same page with you as far as just feeling like she's underappreciated and being happy that she's getting this opportunity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to get your thoughts on this match because I know we're fans of both guys, at least certainly in the ring. I think we're more fans of Andrade overall. What do you think about Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes? 'Cause I thought this was a really fun match.
It was a really fun match, and really Carmelo had to win here because like they keep establishing that he's lost two straight to Andrade, and if he would have lost three straight to Andrade, I mean, at that point the dude just has your number, and there's no point in having a fourth fucking match. Whereas in this case, not only did Melo win, and I believe it was like a sneaky win, right? Like he caught him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was like it wasn't like sneaky, like cheat. It was like they were going hold for hold, and Mello, yeah, like you said, just caught him for
Yeah.
those few seconds.
Okay, I shouldn't have said sneaky. I should have said fluky. Really.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. But because of that, now it feels like they can justify a fourth match, and even further justifying a fourth match, we had a post match brawl.
Yeah, I saw some speculation. I don't know if it was Sean that said this. Love you, Sean. I don't know if he's going to show up later in the show. But best of 7 series. I'd like that between these two, especially if the winner was like number 1 contender for the US title and then assuming that LA Knight's just going to beat Santos. Our next feud then would be Carmelo versus LA Knight. And LA Knight's lucky.
Alternatively, Santos could beat LA Knight, and our next feud could be Andrade versus Santos. I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah, in a perfect world, which I
Yeah.
mean, given that your face said it, maybe it's possible because that too is perfect.
Yeah.
Uh but no, man, in all seriousness, like I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of just crapping on LA Knight, but I will say why I think the United States title is perfect for him is because like the mid card is like in my mind, I won't say stacked, that might be hyperbolic, but it does have a few like quality in-ring workers that can really carry him through this title reign. So like, he's kind of lucked out in that way. Um but yeah, I could see a best of 7 with the winner getting a United States Championship match. And I love that Foster's just like, or we do Andrade versus LA Knight because fake friend ass doesn't deserve anything. But yeah, either way, I would like to see a series. It's been a long time since we've had a best of 5 or best of 7 series. I think the last one that we watched as far as mainstream wrestling goes was Sheamus and Cesaro. And how many years ago was that? I mean, my God. So
Well, and they ended up being a team, so I'm kind of wondering if rather than ending up being for the U.S. title, if they make it quote unquote pointless, but actually what happens is these guys gain respect for each other and start teaming up afterwards and go after the tag titles at some point.
it would be interesting because I do think Mello can succeed as a babyface. He is such a good heel, though. He is such a douche. Like that segment
I
he had
mean, who's to
backstage.
say Andrade wouldn't just become a heel?
Ooh, yeah, that's possible. That's possible. Because like even the segment that Mello had before this match, where like Naomi, Bianca, and Jade, which by the way, Black Excellence out the ass. That was such a beautiful image. They're talking about how they're gonna handle Isla, Alba, and Blair. And then Melo's like, "Oh yeah, you want to come and party after I beat Andrade tonight?" And then I think it was Jade that was like, "Isn't he too up on you?" And then they all walked away. And then Melo was just like, "Still watching my matches though." Like, you know what? Honestly, I love that Teflon confidence, man. I really do. I really do. It's like, wait, you say that, but you're checking me out though, aren't you? It's like I love it. Just peak douche right there. Um, so yeah, I really like both guys. I think the mid card on SmackDown is definitely interesting. So let's see, what do we get after this? Naomi versus Blair Davenport. They ran it back. I really don't have much to say about this match, man. It was okay. Do you have anything you want to say about this?
Same, pretty much. Yeah, it was solid. Not great, not amazing, not bad by any means. It was decent, and I Blair winning is whatever. It could have gone either way. I know my mom was rooting for Naomi. I think we were all kind of rooting for Naomi to just get more to work with in general. But for now, this is fine. I'm not going to be too upset about Naomi losing to Blair because they're trying to build Blair up, and that makes sense.
We'll give SmackDown credit that they've at least got Blair involved in something because again, she's also involved with the women's tag team champions in Isla and Alba. Uh, where the fuck is Kiana James, Pierce? I'd love to see
Yeah,
more Kiana James on my fucking TV. So yeah, credit to SmackDown for actually using the NXT draft pick in the women's that they got because goddamn could have fooled me. Um, I enjoyed this backstage segment because I'm a Kevin Owens mark until I die. A Town Down Under. Um, they're talking shit about KO. Like, oh, why does he deserve a championship match? Like, hasn't he lost like all last year or whatever? And they're just mowing him down. And then Owens comes in and he's like, I agree with you. You're right. I am a total loser. In fact, I'm such a loser. Why don't you and I have a match tonight? Be an easy dub for you, right? I mean, you said dub, and I'm a bit older, so it took me a second to like, but no, let's just have a match tonight. Like, I fucking love Kevin Owens, man. He is such tired dad energy, but not in that boomer way. It's just so fucking endearing. God, he's good. I really, really wish that I believed he had a chance to beat Cody because let's all be real here. Even if you're not the biggest Kevin Owens fan, anything would be an improvement over that face.
I wasn't expecting the holding. The holding is what got me. Fuck.
Yeah. You're gonna be all right there, bud.
Yeah, I'm good.
Excellent. So, all right. So we got Waller versus KO. I'm not gonna dwell too much on this. Kevin
Of
Owens just
course,
went.
Kevin won.
Exactly, with a stunner and then a pop-up powerbomb. And then, I'll be honest, I did get a little moist because he was saying, "Oh, you want the old KO?" And it looked like he was going to powerbomb him on the apron. And I was cheering for it, because I understand like, but John, that's a person's livelihood. And it's just my
Right?
response really. I
Yeah.
don't really have anything beyond that. So yeah, Austin Theory interrupts and then they get chairs because they're thinking we're probably gonna do a concerto. And then Cody interrupts. And I guess I'm grateful in this instance because I didn't want to see Kevin get brutalized. But then, God, then this is where I peaked. Cody, after they fend off the attack, he goes to grab his title, and Kevin grabs it before him. And you can't tell me that that title doesn't look fucking amazing in Kevin Owens' hands. I was like, oh, the reality I want but never will never have. Fuck you. And then he just kind of, shoves it in Cody's chest, and he's like, yeah,
But what
enjoy
if
it.
he does it though? What if he just wins?
Don't don't do that to me. He's not.
But what if he does?
But what if he won't? Because he won't.
I mean, obviously, it's most likely that he won't. We don't have to analyze that option. It's the obvious option. I'm just saying, what if he does?
You saying that we don't need to analyze something is horrifying. Never do that again. Don't mess with fucking group dynamics. All right. But if Kevin Owens does
Wow.
win, obviously I'll pop hard. And then I'll find other people to pop with hard. But I'm not getting my hopes up. So fuck you, WWE. You're not going to hurt me this time. Yeah, that's right. Fuck you. Um,
It
what did what did you think of the legato cinematic kind of thing? They're all at the restaurant.
was pretty cool. I mean, I, it feels like they are literally doing this feud exclusively so that Santos can just rip off LA Knight's catchphrase
He
and
did
just
it
make it
so much better
Spanish.
though.
And just make it Spanish. Yeah, that feels like the entire purpose of this feud. I'm not complaining. I'm just observing.
It was so much more sensual though.
Classy.
Go bar see.
See,
Fuck my pants. Shit.
did they shrink a
So
few
yeah.
sizes?
Oh, you fucking know it. Super Blue, I need you to look at how Escobar did the catchphrase. That's oh geez, what's that thing that LA Knight lacks? Oh yeah, talent. That's what talent looks like.
Oh,
God. And yet you're still on the level of I gotta disprove that he doesn't have that stick lodged up his ass. If I use quantum mechanics, maybe I could prove that it's not there. It is there. You know it's there, and it bothers you because you know every bump he takes, the splinters get a little bit deeper. Fuck. Anyway, I just hate LA Knight so much. He cuts a promo, nobody gives a shit. Dollar store rock ass. Already talked about the tag title tournament. And yeah, then the whole solo confrontation. So that's essentially SmackDown. Way to go, everybody. We did it. We fucking did it. Um, let's see. Let's talk about Raw.
raw. I like it. Yeah.
Well,
Do we want to talk about Baronathan first, or do you have something else in mind?
I mean, I was gonna go in chronological order, but dude, we need to talk about Braun. In fact, since you broached it, I want you to start. What did you think about the 2 out of 3 falls match, man?
It went exactly like I predicted it would. Sammy got the first fall, and then Braun dominated his ass for the rest of the match.
You can't even suppress the satisfaction in your voice. You're like, yeah, I called it. I knew. This is how those things go. I was hoping that Braun would just win 2 straight.
Yeah.
But you know what, man? You being right about this, I think for an overall match, it was so much better. And
Do you
dude,
know why though? Do you know why I officially did predict that in the Discord? It was specifically because of their matches so far. Because the first match, Sammy won. The second match, Braun won. And if Braun would have won two straight, then he would just be up 3-1 on Sammy. And I didn't think they were going to do that. And if even if he would have won the first fall, then he would have been up 2-1 on Sammy, and that would have seemed a bit weird too. So I think it would have made a lot of sense if you kind of look at the three falls of the 2 out of 3 falls match as three separate matches. It makes sense for the third sort of rubber match, quote unquote, to go to the underdog. So Sammy winning that makes sense, and then Braun picks up two straight dubs to tie it up, and then win the fifth and final quote unquote match, even though he's really just winning the third and final match because it is 2 out of 3 falls. But like that's kind of how my brain broke it down.
right, right, right. Um, yeah, man. I mean, dude, I just have to say I won't dwell on and on about the match. Um, Braun's fucking great. I just have to highlight 2 spots here. Actually, 3, because one actually does belong to Sammy. The one spot where he catches Sammy from the moonsault off the barricade and then runs with him at power slam position and then just throws him on that empty chair.
Yes, that
Jesus
was
fucking
awesome.
Christ,
I love
dude.
that. That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I popped so fucking hard for that, bro. I'm like, this dude is an absolute goddamn unit. Um, and then of course the intercepting spear. But then Sammy's
Dude,
spot, which was so yeah, no,
I
what
was
were you
just
gonna
gonna
say?
say one more spot I had to point out: the lawn dart into the fucking chair.
Yes, yeah,
That I who signs up for that?
yeah. Apparently, Sami Zayn does because
Yeah, like
does
how
he let you into the
who
know?
got into Sammy's ear and was like, you know, what would be really cool is if you let him fucking lawn dart you into the fucking was it the ring announcer's chair or the timekeeper's chair or whatever?
I think
Like,
it was the timekeeper's chair. Yeah,
yeah, let him lawn dart you in. Like, who? Why would you let him do that to you, Sammy? Why?
he
There
wanted to put him
are
over.
ways for him to look tough without needing to put your body through that shit, Sammy.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, the coolest spot Sammy got was when he intercepted one spear attempt with the fucking like a pretty much a modified Aluva kicking away because it was just a straight boot to the face.
Yeah.
I thought Braun was knocked the fuck out. I'm like, no fucking way. It was a physical matchup. That's the thing. It was so physical, and Braun with that intercepting spear. I mean, what a way to punctuate it. So now here are the 2 biggest questions: Braun's next challenger, and
It
when the
would be
hell is
funny if
Sammy gonna?
his next challenger was Braun Strowman. Then we got Braun versus Braun.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, that would really be something. But then the bigger question, the biggest question, when the hell is Sammy gonna challenge Gunther for the world title? Because like
I'm gonna,
I'm done
you know
playing
what?
around.
I'm gonna throw a pay per view name out there.
Okay.
Royal Rumble.
I love it. It's perfect because it's the road to WrestleMania, and an underdog like Sammy would love to go into a WrestleMania as world champion.
Yup.
So yeah,
He's
perfect.
gonna be like, you know what? Last year, I beat you at WrestleMania, and this year I don't want to just challenge someone at WrestleMania. I want to go into WrestleMania as the champion. So Gunta, I'm beating you again, and this time I'm going to do it ahead of time so that I can be the champion at Mania. Let's do this at Rumble. It's going to be what it's going to be. That's my prediction officially.
And then Gunther can get his win back. Sweet.
And it's fitting that Sammy wouldn't actually be in the Rumble match because The Rock's winning it anyway. So
Yeah, oh, you're still sticking with that. No, that makes sense.
hell yeah, I am. I'm sticking with that baby all the way through till it doesn't happen.
Oh, yes.
The Rock
Um,
winning the Royal Rumble in 2025 is my KO for Money in the Bank.
you know what though? It's so much more plausible. Fuck, you're probably gonna pull this one off.
Dude,
Um,
if I do and I called it a year out, oh my god, the legend status I will have achieved.
that's true. That's true. We're just gonna have to let you have it, and then every
It
time your
won't have
face,
been a full year out, but I did predict it like literally the Raw after Mania.
God, and then when your face turns up and I try and rein it in, you could be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, John. Who correctly predicted the Royal Rumble so far fucking out?"
I
You
even
did.
said that he'd show up at 31. I said everyone would be out, and then The Rock's music would hit. And he'd come out at 31 and use his power as an executive on the board to give himself that spot and win it. Ah, it would be delicious.
Yeah, and I know about things being delicious, so I definitely agree.
Because here's the thing: I've seen people say that they want Cena to win the Rumble, but to me, he can't win the Rumble because if he wins the Rumble, then he can't be in an Elimination Chamber match, and he has to be in an Elimination Chamber match because it's going to be his last one ever.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, you've really got this all figured out. It's either gonna be a glorious monument or a house of cards, and I really don't know which.
Oh baby, it's gonna be no. What if it's both
So you get like half right, half wrong, because like I feel like that's the only way it
somehow?
would be.
I don't know.
Yeah. It'll all work itself out. But anyway, let's scale this back a bit. Let's start at the
I'm having too
beginning.
much fun. Yeah, let's relax.
Rhea Ripley comes out to open the show, and Rhea said
Oh,
she's gone through all the stages of just sadness, shock, mostly anger. I feel like a knife was in my back, and I'm sure you haven't been told this before, Dom. It wasn't deep enough. Oof. Oof. And once again reminds Liv, like, you have my championship for now, but I'm not done pursuing you more or less. Then Dom and Liv show up, and Dom has a line that makes me fucking die. Says, "Oh, Rhea, you want to know why I left you for Liv? She treats me like a man. I get to eat tendies whenever I want, and I play video games whenever I want."
and she calls me daddy.
Oh my god.
Dude, this,
Jesus.
this was the shit that I wanted them to do building up to the breakup. I didn't expect them to do it post breakup. This is incredible. I love this.
Yeah, he loved it too, apparently, enough to leave Rhea.
He
But you
was
know what though?
like,
I love yeah.
you tried to change me instead of letting me be me. You know how embarrassing it was for you to be bossing me around? A grown man calling you mommy? Now I got a girl that calls me daddy. It's just so cringe and it hurts.
But he's so good at getting the heat. I don't ever see Dom being a babyface again. I'd love to know how they would try and
Yeah.
pull that off if they ever get that idea in their heads
You know
because
what though? Even if they wanted to, let me rephrase that actually. Even if like the crowd started kind of swinging, like maybe cheering for him because they respect how good he is at getting heat, like the edge factor, basically. I think the WWE would find a way to get him to double down as a heel again, the way that they just did by having him betray Rhea.
yeah. You know what though? I love and then Dom does also mention, and this is important, that Liv helped him beat his deadbeat dad.
Yes. So
And then
yeah, you predicted that that would be the main reason for it too. So you and I both like kind of figured out parts of why he would betray her, and I love that for both of
but
us.
you know what I love here too? Because like, okay, we have to be clear. We know that Rhea did a bit of emasculating at the beginning, like, oh, it wasn't deep enough, that kind of thing. Which honestly, compared to how women have been dehumanized in this company and like just kind of the crude humor, I'll give Rhea a pass. That was one of the more clever lines I've heard to kind of bury somebody in that way. But I loved her follow-up to this because she said, like, I was proud of you, I believed in you, and I wanted you to do it on your own. There's a real sincerity to that because again, like, it's like when you and I say, oh, if you turn babyface, you're not all of a sudden friends with the other babyfaces that you fucked with, right? the same way that if you had a relationship with somebody, you don't just go to immediately hating them unless the betrayal was like deep. And I'm not saying that Dom's wasn't, but like Rhea still has enough of a positive memory of Dom and their time together that she's not going to immediately flip a switch. I thought she had a very human reaction to that, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
And I really, really like that. Again, it just goes to show how the writing has grown and that we've really gotten to a place where it's like, okay, these are human people. These aren't caricatures. These are normal reactions, even if they're in like almost cartoonish situations. Because Dom is pretty close to a fucking cartoon. Um, Liv brags about everything she's taken from Rhea. I've got your man, I've got your championship, blah blah blah. Rhea more or less teases like, "Oh, you know what's so great about hearing you talk is that you give away where you are." And then Priest shows up behind them. There begins a big brawl. Like at first, Liv is trying to like protect Dom from Priest, but then Rhea gives chase and Liv just abandons him immediately, which is a great way to convey how much Liv genuinely fears Rhea, and she'll put her safety above Dom's. And then it just breaks out all over. Carlito like gets involved at one point, which leads to a match between Priest and Carlito, which Priest wins. Priest again, super fucking over as a babyface right now. I'm
Yep.
happy for both him and Rhea. And then the Judgment Day try and get the jump, but then yeah, we later find out that it is happening at Bash in Berlin. It's going to be a mixed tag match: the Terror Twins, Priest and Rhea versus Liv and Dom. And there was a little video package later from the new Judgment Day, aka Street Trash, because apparently Finn came up with the name and wanted to run with it. That Liv and Dom called them a joke, said that we're the ultimate couple, and there's no way you guys can beat us. So it looks like a foregone conclusion the Terror Twins are going to win. But to be honest, I'm also not so sure about that because I think Finn might have some fuckery that tips the scales the other way. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Um, we see Alpha Academy backstage. Ivy's kind of talking to Maxine. And then Chad's like, "Oh, what are you doing with her?" And, more or less like saying, like, "Oh, these losers, we don't need them. Keep the name Alpha Academy. I got a new family now. Screw you guys," kind of thing. And then they go,
Yeah.
"We know that American Made is having a tornado tag team match with Alpha Academy, Otis and Tozawa." We'll get to that a bit
Oh,
later.
baby, did that match cook too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it really did. I can't wait to talk about that because that was quite fun. Um, Bo Dallas got a video. I'm gonna be honest. I was kind of half in, half out on this. I'm just waiting for them to do something big, and I feel like hopefully we're close to that. Um, Dallas apparently said that everything was coming full circle. And then he said like things have felt heavy lately, particularly last week. Because like Baltimore was where it all started for the Wyatt family, and then he said, the work wasn't done. And then Dallas kept saying, presumably to Uncle Howdy, my life for you. So we've got some dissociation going on there. That seems totally healthy and safe.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. Shit.
Meanwhile, the most uncomfortable storyline going because I'm like, are we really about to see more betrayal?
Oh,
The New Day.
man.
Yeah, the New
Yeah.
Day. Odyssey Jones with Kofi. Xavier Woods comes up. Odyssey Jones is wearing kind of like an NWO style kind of poncho thing, but with an NDR, so New Day rocks. And yeah, I mean, Odyssey seems jazzed to be in the group. Kofi seems jazzed to have him in the group, but Xavier feeling like kind of a third wheel. Can't say I blame him.
He
Um,
is the third wheel. Oh, God.
He is, as we'll see a bit later. Oh, and Woods is wearing an old New Day shirt, and Kofi's like, "Oh, I thought you had one of these. We're gonna have to hook you up." So he's even being left out of the merch, bro.
No,
God
I
damn,
saw it as Woods wanting things to go back to how they used to be.
they can't. Woods, times marches on. Merry aging, asshole. Anyway,
Wow, you were so intentionally hurtful there. Jesus
I was. It
Christ.
was delicious. I regret
Jesus
nothing. I
Christ.
regret nothing. It
I heard
happened.
you the first time. Christ.
Nice. Odyssey Jones versus Vincent Whiny. Um,
Huh?
that's how they pronounce his last name on commentary. Um,
Oh, so okay, yeah, it was like just like a local talent.
yeah, don't you harm me. I'm not Dana on the top rope.
Dana?
So classic Ashton.
It really was classic my face, wasn't it?
It was. So what do you think about this match from Odyssey here?
I mean, he's very impressive.
He is. He's got a lot of girth.
the circumference.
We're not talking about that. So he wins with the he wins with the spinning sidewalk slam. I mean, look, I hope that this dude's changed his ways. I highly doubt it. So I'm glad that he's got the mask on a bit more tightly than he used to, I guess. He is very explosive in the ring, seemingly. I want to see him against tosses already, like Bronson Reed and like Gunther. I'm intrigued how he could do there. But yeah, he gets the win. Then Final Testament comes out to no pop. Jesus fucking Christ. What you think every
Yeah,
time they
that's
come out,
right. No pop.
you think every time they come out, Triple H feels like a twinge of pain in his side where his wallet is, and it's like, oh no, I'm losing money because that's what you're doing. Get your fucking shit together.
I hope so, because maybe if he feels that pain often enough, it might discourage him from booking them.
You know it won't. So Final Testament come out. And, Cross is just like, what is this? So is this just Xavier Woods being messed with? Because that's what Kofi's really doing. Woods, he brought in Odyssey to screw with you. And then, so he's trying to stir the pot again. And then Xavier starts to talk. And then Kofi steps on him again. Xavier originally just wanted to do a tag match, him and Kofi against either AOP or maybe Cross and a member of AOP or whatever. And then Kofi's like, no, no, no. I got a better idea next week, 6-man tag, Final Testament, so Cross and AOP versus The New Day and Odyssey Jones. So he doesn't include Odyssey Jones in The New Day yet. And that probably is like if he would have, Woods probably would have been like, yo, what the hell? Um, Odyssey is still being treated as separate. But Kofi is stepping on Woods' toes again. And I gotta tell you, that betrayal for Woods is probably looking more and more attractive by the day. How are we feeling about this, Ashton?
You don't really want me to answer. You just want to hear me grieve.
I mean, you could give me what I want, or you could call me out in front of everybody. So clearly, you made your choice. So Texas Tornado Tag Team matchup. And yeah, actually, before that, Drew walking in and rightfully complaining, "Why is Randy getting a world title match when I beat CM Punk at SummerSlam?" I mean, again, all genuine questions, all from a handsome face. We can all agree that Drew is in the right, and if you dissent, I don't know. We'll just have to figure that out. But yeah, so he's saying he's gonna take care of it, and Pierce is like, I can't have another Bronson Reed. And he's like, look, I'm a veteran, it'll be fine. Do you see how little control Pierce has over his show? It's pathetic. Get your fucking shit together, you bald bitch. Anyway,
Wow.
now we'll get to the Texas Tornado matchup. What did you think about this, bro? I want you to run point on this because I had a lot of fun with this.
Before I answer this, I just have to say, I love the energy that you are bringing to Adam Pierce right now. He deserves it and never stop staying on his throat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fuck him.
Now,
Continue.
what was your question?
Just about the Tornado tag team match.
Oh yeah, it was really fun. It was a lot of fun. Lots of suplexes, lots of fun stuff. I know that Otis got to do his little caterpillar. That was always good. I believe didn't American Made win?
Yes,
Yeah, I thought
because
so.
Ivy Nile turned heel.
That's right. She did the fucking submission on top of the table. She did the dragon sleeper to Maxine standing on top of the table so that everyone could see it nice and clearly.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, I won't talk too much about like spots because this isn't, or at least this tries not to be an excessive recap show. But you know who I was happiest for in this match was fucking Tozawa. He got some nice pops in this match from the crowd.
Yeah.
That was so wonderful to see because, like, I um I remember this dude's work in PWG, and for anybody that doesn't, like, this dude had quite an engine on him. Um, And I know that he's been more of a comedy guy, but for him to show his in-ring chops again while keeping that personality, I was so happy for him because I'm like, people need to remember that this dude can go. In fact, I appreciate a commentary reminding us that he was a former cruiserweight champion because I'll be honest with you, bro, I forgot that he was. So appreciated commentary for that. The Creeds are amazing. I mean, they're
Yeah.
just fucking hosses. Um, and
The
yeah, I
Creeds
just
are like, we were watching the Royal Rumble 93 earlier, and we saw the Beverly Bros, and we were talking about how, like, if those guys were brand new wrestlers today, how they would be like big time stars because they had the look and they were big guys and stuff. but they were facing the Steiner Bros. And like
Exactly.
because everything is kind of smaller today, like I said, like the Beverly Bros were like a couple of like 6'4", 250-pound guys, and the Steiner Bros are fucking huge. Like I think Scott is like 6'5", probably close to 300, like Batista size basically. And Rick is a little smaller, but not much. The Creed brothers are basically a current day equivalent to the Steiner Bros.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that. That's why I was so hyped about American Alpha years ago because I also thought they fit that bill back in the day. And then of course, we just saw everything that happened. Thankfully, Gable's still working. I still hope he gets his big moment one day with a singles title. We'll have to see about that though. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this tag team matchup again. Happiest for Tozawa because it's about time that some respect was put on his name.
Yeah,
And yeah, I'm excited to see where this feud goes. This is actually one of the better undercard feuds in the company right now. American Made versus Alpha Academy. So good shit. I also love the wink that Cole did uh to the diamond mine because he said a diamond's been mined tonight here on Raw.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I love that these people can reference their own fucking lore, and even if they have to be a little cheeky about it. Um, Not going to talk about Pete Dunne because he sucks. We got a video
Dude,
package
he is
from
on way too much of our televisions this time around. Like, what the hell, man? Like,
both Raw and
yeah,
NXT,
why is
bro.
he being featured on Mondays and Tuesdays, both?
That's 2 days too many. Um, so we get Sky Pirates of the video package, and I love them, and they're precious, and yeah, just I think they should be the women's tag team champions, and I'm right. So I think yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good. Um, After that, oh yeah, and Sonya, Zoe, and Shayna. Poor fucking Shayna, dude. Jesus Christ. They're calling themselves the Pure Fusion Collective.
Which easily the worst name for an all women's tag team since.
Submission sorority.
Thank you. Dude. I'm so fucking glad you remembered it because I was trying. My brain circuits were
I thought you
frying.
were. See, dude,
I
the
I
ESPN.
was
Yeah.
literally gonna say the one that they ended up finding out was named after a porn site.
And see, look at me having your back there, bud. ESPN wins again.
Holy shit, dude. They really like and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. Submission Sorority was a better name for a faction than this shit. Because why? It was fucking memorable. Even if it was memorable for reasons that people might say are bad, it was fucking memorable. Nobody's going to remember the Pure Fusion Collective 3 months from now. And even if they do, it's only going to be because the WWE insists on jamming it so far down your throat that you end up with it in your stomach and you're digesting it at that point. And even then, no one's going to remember it 3 years from now because it's not a memorable name at all. It's like, you know how they talk about how, like in design, you should always make sure that your design is clean enough that you can identify it from really far away, that you can scale it down really, really far and you can still recognize it and stuff like that. And it should still look in grayscale. Well, this particular name is literally failing every single test that names should pass in order to be good, recognizable branding names. They're going to change this name. I'm predicting it right now. They're going to end up changing this name. Pure Fusion Collective is garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, even the name that was changed from Submission Sorority because they made a discovery to PBC for
PCB.
PCB for Paige, Charlotte, and Becky, like
Yeah.
even that was better than this.
Yeah.
Cause like at
I do.
least you
Here's
knew
the
what it
thing.
was
I was
referencing.
gonna say PCB, but then I remembered. Wait a minute. No, PCB isn't the porn name. They named it something, and then it changed to PCB. And that's why it took me so long to say something, and then you remembered Submission Sorority.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, it's really bad. Pure Fusion Collective. Like, I think, I think I see what they were going for because you think of pro-res, like Japanese style wrestling is referred to as pro-res, right?
Yes.
Purores, pro-res, right? Or Puroresu a lot of the time. Pro-res, like you at the end, right? But like there's also a style that has been referred to as proto fusion.
Okay.
So I think they were trying to do like an Americanized version of Puro Fusion by just saying pure fusion, because like so all of Sonya and Shayna and Zoe probably are like fans of Japanese wrestling, and they all probably take influences from Japanese wrestling, and they probably have that in common, and they probably feel like, let's have a name that incorporates Japanese wrestling into it somehow. And they thought they were being clever, but what they really did was just come up with a really, really bad, unmemorable name. I'm honestly amazed that you and I both remembered it, because Michael Cole didn't. Later on in the night, he was trying to remember the name. He just could not. I think Pat McAfee had to save him.
You know what? I'm not even gonna be hard on Michael for that. The name
No,
sucks.
the thing is, I'm not. I'm not blaming Cole. I'm blaming the name. The problem isn't with Michael Cole for. That's not. That's not Michael Cole being bad at his job. That's whoever named the group being bad at their jobs.
Yeah, definitely. Goddamn.
Like, you
Uh,
can't blame Michael Cole for not remembering a name that's hard to remember.
if I was him, I would have gone to the bag and they would have been like, Michael, why didn't you remember it? The name sucks. And then I just would have stormed off, let them pick up the fucking pieces. But yeah, they Pure Fusion Collective was represented by Shayna and Zoe, and they faced Sky Pirates. This is a fun tag team match, but in a no contest because Isla and Alba, who are watching at ringside, they got involved. Great plan, geniuses, because now you have to defend your titles against both of them in a triple threat match next week.
Dude,
Man, who would have seen that coming?
I'm looking forward to a day when literally any, it doesn't have to be all, I would that would be raising my expectations way too high. Literally any mainstream pro wrestling company with television in the US does not write intelligence insulting bullshit like this.
Yeah, bro, I'm gonna be honest. If we're still doing this shit in the year of our Queen Utami 2024, we're doing it till the day I die. I ain't living to see this shit. No fucking way. Like,
I mean, we had it in Lucha Underground.
true.
We had it. Like the flame was lit. It was there, and then it died.
Yeah,
But
a
we
lot
know
of
it
things.
can exist. We know it can exist. We know that it's not impossible. It's possible. It's just really, really special, and it's something that like is it's precious. It's precious, and we need to hold on to it if we ever get it again.
So, not to be overly confrontational, but how long are you gonna subsist on that hope?
Bro, Lucha Underground's only been dead for like 4 years. How impatient do you think I am?
I mean, I've seen you be impatient sometimes, so like there is an honest answer to that question. But I guess with this, you have more than I give you credit for. Um,
I can probably subsist for another like decade plus, honestly.
Wow, dude, you're holding out. You're like, I know you can do this, please. And you know what?
Listen,
You're
man,
holding.
if Tony Khan's rich ass can have a vanity project where he just books shitty PWG with no stories for 5 years at this point, there's no question in my mind that another billionaire is out there somewhere who wants to make an actual good wrestling company with good stories that don't insult their viewers' intelligence.
Would be the most ethical thing any billionaire's ever done.
And that's the thing
I
too,
ju-
is you Vince McMahon himself proved that you don't have to be a billionaire to run a wrestling company. Vince didn't actually become a billionaire until like the Saudi deal. So
yeah,
like you don't have to be a billionaire to run a wrestling company. You have to be rich, but you don't have to have that level of wealth. And fuck, man, we have Freddie Prince Jr. coming out with his shit at some point soon.
yeah, he keeps saying that. I'll believe it when I see it. Um,
Fuck, man.
I'm giving everybody the two today. Holy shit.
Yeah, you a little bit. It's okay though. You've earned it. You've earned the right.
I really believe I have. Yeah. But no, in all seriousness, let's scale it back again because we have the Miz and Truth backstage. Miz is looking upset, because lost tag titles, and him and Truth they've been having a bit more miscues lately. And then Truth,
Well, they do suck right now, so.
oh wow, you're so blunt. Um, Truth says, "Look, I know what's gonna make you feel better. I got you in our Intercontinental title match." And then Miz at first step, he's like, "Wait, isn't Braun already defending the title tonight?" And then Truth is like, "No, no, him right there, right?" And he's pointing at one of the trucks, and Miz is like, "Truth, that's Bronson Reed." That's the guy that killed Seth last week. Oh, my bad. They're kind of arguing about it.
Honestly, though, is there a Braun on the roster that Miz would be happy to face? Like, you're either getting steamrolled by Braun Breaker, fucking plowed over by Braun Strowman, or this. Like, what is the good option there for you, Miz?
It doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't. He needs to relax.
Wow, again, you're on a roll right now. Um, Randy Orton came up, and then he was like, "Oh, Miz, you got this." After he's like, "Oh, wasn't that the guy that killed Seth last week?" So everybody's kind of putting over what Bronson Reed
I
did.
love that. I love that it's so clear that Orton doesn't watch the product too.
Yeah,
he
dude, he's
just
told. He don't
he
give a
heard it
fuck.
through the grapevine.
He's been with this company so long. He's like, whatever.
Faces come and faces go, man. And no one has the longevity like RKO.
That's gonna be his catchphrase in 5 years. I think you just made his catchphrase in like 5 years.
Oh my god, I just realized I made that rhyme and everything. Holy shit,
Yeah,
you're right.
that. Yeah,
Jesus.
no, yeah, dude. He's not gonna pay you, but well done. Um, but yeah, and then Truth is like, "Oh, you really think he's got a chance?" And Orton just kind of looks at him and sighs, and he walks off. Uh, so then we get the Gunther Orton segment. I really don't want to get too deep into this because there really wasn't much to say here. It's just Gunther said that Orton hasn't lived up to his potential. Weird flex, but okay. Um, Orton, is pretty much saying like, I am going to win the world title. I have made some mistakes, but I've got a beautiful family. I think he said he's a 14-time world champion right now, soon to be a 15-time. So he thinks he's doing
I
okay.
thought he was already 15, honestly. That's weird.
I thought he was too, man. And then it's like, no, wow, Cena really is just that much better than you. Um, fuck.
Is Cena
2009 Orton
already
just
at 17?
Cena's at 16. He's tied with Flair. That's why
I
everybody
thought
wants
they
him to
were
get the
both at 17.
who Flair and Cena.
Yeah.
No, it was always my understanding that it was like 16. They're just always stuck with the 16 gimmick. It's probably more than 16 world titles, but like the whole televised narrative is 16 world titles. And
Huh.
Cena, I think, is like a 16-time world champion, but they
I'm
want him to
getting
win
ahead
one
of
more.
myself. That's like how I've been calling myself 34 for like 3 months now, even though I don't actually turn 34 for another week.
Yeah, bro, you need to fucking relax. All right. Like time is going at the pace it wants to go at. All right. Relax. Uh,
Thanks, bud. Thanks a lot.
you're welcome. I figured you needed that. I needed that. So
Oh, man.
Gunther also trashes Orton's family, which I mean, one got over wearing a cast, so I mean I can't blame Gunther. That's low hanging fruit. I'd do the same thing.
Oh,
Then Drew comes
God.
out, distracts Gunther momentarily. Gunther actually turns around. He shows his back to Orton, which I'll admit, based. But then
No,
you
you
remember
know
that it's
what? No, I'm right. Cena. Wait, no, you know what? Never mind. I'm sorry.
you really interjected for that. Go in the corner.
I'm I'm
So
I'm gonna
Gunther
I'm gonna go in a corner. I'm sorry.
Gunther turned his back to show the world title to Drew, and then Orton RKO's him, and he kind of holds the world title for a bit. It got a nice reaction from the crowd. It was a nice looking RKO as well. Um, and so yeah, that was pretty cool build up. But then Drew, he's kind of smirking, like I'm getting ready to do my business, and then CM Punk shows up like the fucking chode that he is. And, they're going at it. Drew gets a headbutt on Punk, takes his belt off because he's about to whip him like he's his father or something. But Punk evades it. He gets the strap. He starts whipping Drew to a nice pop. And I sigh because, Punk is just such a boomer. It seems like we're going to get a strap match at Bash in Berlin. Do you care? I don't.
We're getting a strap match for sure. And to answer your question, no, no, I don't.
Yeah, fuck CM Punk. Wake me up when you're interesting, which means I'm in for a nice long nap. Eat my ass.
I'm
Um,
confused
about what?
about this whole world title situation.
I feel like they kind of laid the groundwork last week. This is all because of that whole King of the Ring controversy.
No, no,
Uh,
no. Ric Flair held the NWA World Title 9 times, the WCW World Title 8 times, and the WWF World Title twice. How is he not a 19-time world champion?
dude, I don't know, man.
Like, which three of those reigns don't count in WWE's minds?
I'm guessing some of the NWA ones, maybe.
That's fucking weird, man.
You know what? It might be, but I didn't do it. All right, we can't
I'm not.
solve
Why
here.
do you think I'm blaming you?
And just you came to me with a problem. You were like, I don't understand something. I'm the closest one in your proximity. I did
I'm not
not do this,
asking you
man.
to solve the problem. I'm just asking you to help me understand it.
Isn't that practically the same thing? I
No.
mean, I'd wow, okay. Well, you shit out of luck either way because I don't understand it either.
Okay. That's good to know,
But
though. I'm glad that we're on the same page.
yeah, yeah. I really, when you circled back to it again, I'm like, oh my god, like that broke me. Honestly, I was like, oh man. All right, we get Bronson Reed versus The Miz. Cool. Bronson Reed wins. Truth saves him from a further beatdown, which is funny because Miz is probably still going to turn on him anyway to
I
go
mean,
back to being a heel.
considering Truth was the one that ended up getting the beat down anyway, so.
Yeah. It'd be funny if Truth turned heel. I mean, I know we already did that, but let's be honest.
Can we get a real
Still.
Truth heel run, though?
Like, what do you
Like,
mean? Like,
well, like one where he isn't dressing like Confederate soldiers and doing goofy shit like that.
oh, you mean like a real one where he's just kind of spitting truth at everybody?
Yeah.
No pun intended. And
Yeah.
then just
No,
like,
but seriously, though, yes.
yeah, yeah, there you go. We're probably not doing that, but good suggestion though.
Fuck. And honestly, at this point, anything that gets him to just not have dementia anymore would be great.
Oh god. Yeah, I can understand that, bud. Then I think yeah, it was 2 out of 3 falls, so we can move on to NXT. I'll be honest, I
Yeah.
paid the least amount of attention to NXT this week, but I watched the longer form YouTube videos kind of recapping the show. So, first we get Ethan Page. Ew, let's just skip all of that. Joe Hendry interrupts, says he wants a title shot. Wesley lays him out. Cool. Um and yeah, then we get Charlie Dempsey and Miles Bourne working out backstage. Ren comes up to them and mentions she's in the group. Uh, and then yeah, like Dempsey gets a bit frustrated with her, but it's like whatever. My mind is focused on getting the cut back. You know, I've waited 3 months. I can't believe it's already been that long, to be honest. To get this opportunity, and tonight, you know, the cup's coming home. After that, oh yeah, we do get the Heritage Cup matchup. What did you think about this, man? Because I didn't see this in full.
I know
So
I barely paid attention to the Heritage Cup match this time around, honestly.
okay, so I saw the tail end of it, and I saw that Charlie Dempsey won, and I saw also that Ren repeated the spot that she did with Tavion, where she like kind of slapped him in the face to fire him up.
Yeah. And
So
it
yeah,
worked.
yeah. I mean, Charlie won, so you can give a big thanks to Ren for everything, really. So
Yeah,
there
she
you go.
got in the match and she motivated him to win it.
Yeah, if anything, not only is she a member of the group, she might be its greatest asset. I don't know. Tavion is killing it in the N1 though. I expect him to get pushed a bit when he comes
Yeah,
back.
dude, he's getting over in Japan. Are you kidding me? What?
Bro, I'm telling you, if WWE does not work out for him, Japan needs to be his next move. I'm like dead
Dude,
serious. Like I'm not
y-
even.
you know what?
Yeah,
I'm gonna just throw this out there. Josh Briggs is apparently not doing as well as Tavion as far as like getting over with the crowd goes.
yeah.
This man owes it to Tavion to advocate for him backstage. Let them know. Make sure that the brass is aware that he was in the same tournament wrestling in front of the same crowds as Tavion, and he could not connect with them to the same degree that Tavion did. Let them
Yeah,
know that this kid is fucking special. Let them know. Do not just sit back and be fucking bitter about the fact that you failed or whatever. Be fucking proactive. Help your man out. Help the dude out.
I agree. I would love to see that. I would really honestly love to see that. Yeah. So we continue. And again, Charlie did win the Heritage Cup. He regained it. Oh, we don't have to talk about this either because it's Lexus King. Man, we're gonna save a lot of time on this.
Dude, Lexus
Tatum.
King and Eddie Thorpe had a match this week, and I just, name more of an obnoxious collection of dweebs than these two motherfuckers tangling it up together. Like, honestly, you could go back, even like, I'm thinking, like, who was the. Jesus Christ. My memory is a real problem on these. What was the name of the male cheerleader team?
Spirit Squad.
Yeah, those guys were way cooler than either one of these dweebs.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, enough said. Again, it's Lexus King. It's Eddie Thorpe. I'm just whizzing right past this. Um, Tatum Paxley versus Lola Vice. You have any thoughts on this?
I love Tatum Paxley. I think she's gonna make my fave five coming up in a couple weeks here when we do it.
Yeah, dude, she's wonderful. Unfortunately, Lola did win. Although I don't dislike Lola, I just like Tatum a lot more. I think that's really what it comes down to for
Well,
me.
and to be fair, Wendy Chu did do a little distracting here.
Yes,
She
yes,
showed up and got Kalani Jordan in a Cobra clutch
yes, she did.
because Kalani was on commentary,
Yes, she was, and
and nobody does commentary like Lonnie.
yeah. So after she lays her out with the Cobra Clutch, I'm seeing here on TJRWrestling.net, which is where I get all my recaps. So a quick plug to them. There's an image of Wendy Chu holding the Women's North American Championship, and she looks good with the gold. I like it. I like it a lot. I
Dude,
would like.
literally, like, I like Kalani, but she could have dropped that title to anyone that she's defended it against, and I would have been happy about it. So let's just add Wendy to the list.
Absolutely. Can't wait for that match to happen. Yeah. And yeah, Izzy, apparently there's going to be an NXT gauntlet match to determine Roxanne's next challenger. It's going to have Jada Parker, Kendall Gray, and Carmen Petrovic. At least those were three women. I think there were like six women, so I don't know who the other three were.
Yeah, it's also, oh god, yeah. You know what? Let me see if I can find the list. Sol Ruka, Adriana Rizzo, and Ren. I forget Ren's last name.
Sinclair.
Yeah, Ren Sinclair. Those are the other three. So it's Sol, Riz, Ren, Kendall, Jada, and Carmen are the six.
I think either Soul or Jada wins. And I'm leaning more towards Jada because Soul just recently lost to Kalani for the women's North American title. So I don't see how you lose the mid card championship match and then get a main event championship match. It just
I'm
doesn't.
gonna go out on a limb here because out of everyone listed, Kendall Gray feels the most out of place. I think Kendall Gray gets assaulted backstage and replaced, and it's fucking Julia, and she wins it.
That's a bold prediction, man. I am not going to join you there. I'm just going to stick with Jada because they've been doing teases for it. So,
Well, I'll tell
yeah.
you why though. I'll tell you why. It's because Julia's quote unquote last match in Japan, which isn't actually, but can be, she can go back and forth a little bit, is advertised as August 19th, right?
Yeah.
NXT, and here's the thing: August 19th in Japan is like the night of the 18th here, right?
Yes.
So that show's probably going to be done about 36 hours before NXT goes live.
Right.
So that gives Julia 36 hours to catch a 15-hour flight over to Orlando.
Right. Right. Right.
She
Okay.
could be on that episode of NXT. She would have to, she would have to work a little harder to hide the jet lag, I would imagine, but she could hop a flight, get over to Orlando, wrestle on NXT, win that match to earn contendership, fly back to Japan, spend the week in Japan, wrestle the gauntlet match on the 25th, and then be back in Orlando in time for the next episode of NXT on the 26th. And that would just be like, that's it. She's just done with Japan then for good.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Especially
definitely see your
because,
vision.
like, the 19th is a Monday. So the 25th would be a Sunday. So her actual last show in Japan is on a Sunday. So she would have even an extra day then to get more acclimated to America's time zone, the East Coast time zone, then before the August 27th episode of NXT.
Right.
Maybe this is cope. I can admit that. I will say, if that doesn't happen, my absolute number, the only correct pick in this gauntlet is Jada Parker. We've already gotten a tease where she's actually said some snarky shit to Roxanne about the title. It has to be Jada. If we're not getting Julia right away, it's got to be Jada.
Yeah, I would agree. I would absolutely agree. I would like to see Ren Sinclair get the shot because I've just been loving her personality in No Quarter Catch Crew, but honestly, build up to it a bit. And honestly, not even for the NXT Women's Championship, she should be one of the next Women's North American champions because that gold in NQCC, that sounds great to me, baby. All right, now that I've put down my own rhyme scheme, let's get on to things that actually matter, like Wes Lee telling everybody why he did the right thing and kick Nash Carter in the fucking balls. So you can already tell how I felt about this promo. I listened to Wes's promo and I said to myself, John, I knew you were right that there were two sides to this. And yeah, I found him incredibly sympathetic. I think some fans were on his side, but he actually did get a decent amount of heat. And what's funny is, and this is a little confusing to me, he knows that him and Nash are going to have a match. He admits it. And he even like puts out No Mercy as a date for that match. And he says, if you do show up, I will show you No Mercy. But then he's going to be in a triple threat match, him versus Joe Hendry versus Pete Dunne. And the winner goes to No Mercy for the NXT championship. So, my guy, you're thinking about wrestling twice in one night? Like, I already feel like Joe Hendry's winning, right? Because Ethan Page is just like your quintessential heel. So you want to put him against that beloved babyface. But it's just funny that like Wes in a way sees it coming, but he's like, it'll be all right. I want that NXT championship though. And he does say, like, when I'm done with you, I am gonna move on to the NXT title. And I'm like, yes, yes. So I like this promo from Wes. I think there was a lot of truth in it. He's a man in pain. And just saying, Nash let me down again. I was excited to be tag team champions, and it didn't happen. So guess what? Fuck you. And yeah, I'm happy for him. What do you think about this promo?
I mean, I'm not as excited as you are clearly, but I will say that this felt like better justification than I expected it to be.
There you go. Yeah, nice, nice.
Um, it felt grounded to me. It felt very grounded to me. It felt like I kind of expected it to be very like victim blamey, very like how dare you get fired kind of thing, and that's not really what it came off as at all. It came off more like you're a fucking child, and when you left, it was a relief more than it was a grief. And
Yeah,
now you're back, and I'm realizing how little I missed you. Fuck you. And I love that. I fucking love that with Wes.
I love
Uh,
that too, man.
yeah,
Yeah, because like I understand that there were real world circumstances that they can't acknowledge or choose not to acknowledge or what have you.
yeah.
But like, yeah, even the line where it's like, I was tired of waking you up for every show. It's like, wow, he really felt like this dude's father or something, like his
I mean,
parent.
dude, when is Matt Hardy gonna cut this promo?
Right? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
For real. That's like that literally Wes. I feel like Wes is describing the life of Matt Hardy because this is the type of shit that I expect him to have to deal with fucking Jeff.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. This was good stuff. I'm actually excited for their match at No Mercy. I think it needs a stip to it, like no DQ or last man standard or something, just because this is a long-standing tag team that got thrown away because Wes was just sick of Nash's shit. So I guess we'll have to see how that goes. Pete Dunne interrupts and he's like, "Oh, finally somebody's figured it out." Shut up, Peter.
Oh
Nobody
my
asked you.
god.
And then Joe
You
Hendry
know
kind of
how
gets
every time I say bruv, you kind of want to punch me in the face?
yes.
Yeah, your Pete Dunne impression kind of has that effect on me.
Well, yeah. Now we know how to affect each other, so let's not do it.
Yeah.
All right. That being said, Joe Hendry does tag West back for the attack earlier, and I already mentioned that there's going to be a triple threat happening. Next up, we get Otis versus Obafemi. What did you think about this match, brother?
Uh, I will say a little bit disappointing relative to my expectations. I thought this would be a lot more fun than it was. It was kind of slow, kind of mm, just kind of iffy. It was good but not great. Let's put it that way. I would say Oba's title defenses have pretty much all been better than this. This was probably Oba's worst title defense.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I only saw the tail end of this from recaps. And yeah, it was just good to see Oba dominate, beat main roster guys.
Yeah,
Hope
for
that would be a
sure.
trend
It's
that
cool to
continues.
see him do it, but like I was hoping for like a really fun hoss fight, and I just feel like I didn't get that. Maybe it really is just that like Otis is strictly a power guy and can't do some of the crazy like fun athletic stuff that a lot of the other hosses Oba has faced have been able to do, like Dijak and Briggs, etc.
Yeah.
So it restricted what they could really do in this match.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, we got Izzy Dame who beat Brinley Reese. Cool.
I
Um,
fucking I Izzy Dame's awesome. I'm just like they need to stop having her lose. And I know she didn't lose here, but she lost on Level Up this week. And like she should not be losing. Like they should be booking her like almost like I don't want to say like an unstoppable force or anything. Like I don't want them to give her like the Asuka type streak or anything like that. But like, yeah, they should be giving her. It should be really hard to beat her. Like, she shouldn't just be losing to random like normal size, normal power level type women. That just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, this is gonna be a lukewarm take. Like, I don't think I'm saying anything too out of pocket, but this is another reason why I wish Kiana James didn't leave, because I personally would have preferred her and Izzy Dame to be women's tag team champions far away and above fucking Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. I don't like Isla and Alba. I never really have. I know that they've got their own fan base though, like online and stuff. Like, I think people really do like their aesthetic. They like their in ring. They just like the whole dynamic. And fair enough. Let people like what they like, and I'm happy they have that. But I loved Kiana and Izzy as a team, and I wanted to see a lot more from them than what we got. I just feel deprived on every level. And now Izzy, as a single star, clearly has a lot of potential, but it's just a question of, does NXT want to capitalize on that potential or not? And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking they may be inclined to say not. And I just think that's a big mistake. So that's that. Love to see what happens. Would love to see her as a future Women's North American champion. I mean, that's why this title exists, because all the workers that we like that we just feasibly cannot see as the actual women's champion, especially with Julia coming. That's why this title exists. So let's get to
I
work.
I think that Izzy Dame might not be, but absolutely should be women NXT Women's Champion within the next like year and a half.
Yeah, I could see it, man.
Like,
I
I don't
really
think she
like
will
that.
be. I don't think that they're actually going to give her that level of a push because it seems to me so far like they don't really see that kind of level in her. But like,
Yeah,
I felt similarly about Rhea. Like when Rhea first showed up in that first Mae Young Classic, I felt like she was like, okay, let's fucking gear up and let's see how much we can push her before she starts to falter. And it seems like they were much more touch and go with her to the point that they like fucking hid her away on NXT UK, and that was where she actually had her first world title run. Was she was the NXT UK Women's Champion? I believe she beat Tony Storm for that, and like
yeah,
they had her do shit there until eventually they had her return to main roster or not main, but like mainland NXT in like 2019, which like I think was the Mae Young Classic in 2016.
I believe it was. I honestly don't remember.
It was 2017. The first one was 2017. The second one was 2019. So basically, they didn't really do much with her. They either didn't push her at all, or they pushed her in a hidden away. Like, let's not have her be in front of like the main NXT kind of promotion for 2 years before they finally were like, all right, let's do this now. Um, and when I mean, yeah, when she came back on NXT, it was like way past due to the point that like she was far and away the most over person on the entire roster, and I emphasize person, not just woman.
Yes.
Like that pop when she returned was insane because that was like she ended Shayna's reign of terror basically.
Yeah.
So I just don't want for Izzy to get treated similarly, where it's like she's fucking ready. What are we waiting for?
Yeah. I mean, again, I feel like you could make anybody a star, especially when they're already coming in with a lot of latent gifts.
Yeah,
If the writing is there and the prioritizing is there. And I'm wondering if Izzy's going to get her turn at any point, because I think she's a solid talker. She's clearly solid in ring. And again, we have a mid card championship now. So, again, like you, I like Lonnie, but she still needs to discover an actual character and an actual voice. And then we can really cook. Like, please come back and see me when that happens, because absolutely you should push her at that point, but Izzy's got those things now, and so let's get to work.
yeah, that's
Um,
kind of my thing. Is like I'm kind of suffering from a similar thing to what I got with EO when EO showed up, where like, why are they losing? It's like this weird thing in my head of like, this person should not be losing to trainees. Like EO should not have been losing to like fucking Lacey Evans when she was in NXT. It just like I just couldn't understand the logic, or I shouldn't say the logic. I couldn't understand how you can justify that when Io was in NXT, having her lose to like what I perceived as like really green women, and like Lacey Evans was just the big one that comes to my mind. And then like obviously Izzy Dame isn't on the same level as Io, obviously. Like that's clear and not even something I have to say, but I feel like I have to say it to make sure that everyone knows that I understand it. But like it's a similar problem where Izzy is this like big athletic, charismatic, like blue chip prospect who you could be pushing immediately, and they're just like, no, we're gonna have her lose to Adriana Rizzo on NXT Level Up. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, I don't know, because like, here's the thing: Obafemi lost. He lost matches on Level Up too before his big push. Like
Yeah.
he took L's to like Dante Chen and Von Wagner and Javier Bernal and Zion Quinn on NXT Level Up for the first like 3 or so months of his career.
Yeah.
But then when he finally got on NXT main, he fucking destroyed everyone. He was in the fucking breakout tournament. He's undefeated on NXT main, I believe. He's never lost to anyone on NXT TV.
No.
To
No.
me, like, maybe not quite to that extreme, but Izzy Dame should be treated similarly. Where, like, okay, we can have her lose to people on NXT Level Up as a way to, like, prepare her for the push. But I feel like she's already been around for too long to say like we're just preparing her for the push. Because didn't she literally just lose on NXT TV like last week?
I thought she did either last week or two
Yeah,
weeks ago at the latest.
it was. Uh, you know what? Actually, it was a little longer ago than that. It was like a month ago. But she lost to Tatum Paxley, and like I like Tatum Paxley. I don't think she should be beating Izzy Dame on NXT TV in 4 minutes. The week before that, she lost to Thea Hale in 3.5 minutes. That doesn't track for me. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. You know,
I
it's kind of a shame because I don't dislike Fallon, but I almost wish with this new trio that you've got with JC, Jasmine, and Fallon that you'd swap Fallon out with Izzy. I feel like Izzy would be a better fit for that.
and here's the thing: Izzy's been around now for over a year.
Yeah.
Izzy has been wrestling for them since May of 2023. Her NXT Level Up debut was in July of 2023, where she lost to Danny Palmer, and her actual like proper NXT debut was in October. She lost to Kalani Jordan in the first round of the breakout tournament. So like, I don't know, man. It just seems like they don't really like view her in that way. Because if they did, I can't imagine that she would have this kind of record.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Things
I
can
can
change when
actually
we yeah.
look on Cage Match, and I can specifically look for broadcasted shows, and I can look in singles matches, and I can tell you her exact record between this year and last year.
Right.
Last year, she was 0-5 in broadcasted singles matches. This year, she's 4-7. That doesn't really read like someone that you're getting ready to push like a monster, and it should.
No, no.
So yeah, this is more just me venting my frustration because I feel like Izzy Dame is like I said, like a blue chip prospect who could be your next Rhea Like how old is she actually?
I thought
She's
she was 28.
25. She's
Oh, 25.
25. She's
Wow.
so young. She could literally, yeah, like she could be your next Rhea Ripley, and it just feels to me like they are squandering her. I shouldn't say squandering because she is really young, but it just feels to me like it's like when we are watching really young prospects wrestle in NXT, we're always looking for that signal of like, okay, yeah, no, they're gonna get behind them, and we just haven't seen that with her yet, and it's frustrating.
Okay. So main event NXT tag team titles.
Dweebs.
Yeah, Dweebs versus Chase U, and I'm gonna cut to the Chase U and say that they won the
Yeah.
tag titles. Um, Hope you liked it, Duke, because I'm pretty sure if you were in the spot, you would have failed. So congratulations, Rich, for getting the job done. Because yeah, he wrecks these guys towards the end of the match. Now, what's interesting to me, I mean, first of all, thank God the tag titles have been liberated from those fucking geeks. Pretty sure one of them is going to turn on the other soon enough because they'll blame their miscommunications or whatever, which they've been having the past few weeks. And then we know the backstage stuff of like, well, you're not focused. And then Fraser's blaming Axiom for not being focused. So that team is just disintegrating. I don't know who's going to turn heel on who. Really, Fraser comes off as more heel to me, so I would have him do the turn. but that's just me. The more interesting question is how long is this reign going to go for Ridge and Andre Chase? And how is this story going to continue? Because clearly, Duke and Thea originally had a problem like not being champions, especially Duke, because, he usually teams with Andre Chase. But then they all got behind Ridge and Chase for this. So now they won the title. So I'm sure that they're going to be supportive, but there might still be some resentment. I've heard some people say that this is like a Ridge Holland redemption story. I don't see it that way at all personally. I still feel like Ridge is kind of a heel a little bit in my mind. I don't know, man. How do you feel about all this?
No, I do feel like there's like elements of a redemption story in here. I do agree that there's also still elements of heelishness with what Ridge did, just because he did something that elevated himself and made Duke Hudson feel bad, and that's heelish in its own right.
Yeah.
But like he's doing it in an effort to like also try and redeem not just himself but also Chase U, which also kind of comes back to Andre Chase himself. So like it's like the whole thing of like sometimes bad things can have good intentions.
Yeah.
And it's like you're not a full piece of shit, but like you still did a shitty thing, kind of. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm the thing that disappoints me the most about this is that Andre Chase is on the tag team that won the tag titles. I really just wanted to be Ridge and Duke. I really wanted the Hoss Boys to be the tag champs, but Andre's cool. I like Andre, and he still does cool stuff that gets big pops out of the crowd. The Garvin stomp with the CHASEU spelling out works and gets huge reactions. And he's got sort of like an intrinsic charisma that comes off really well. So yeah, I dig it, man. And also I just love that Andre Chase, who is a former tag team specialist, I don't know if you remember this, but he is formerly, when he was in ROH and the Indies, he was known as Harlem Bravado. He was one of the Bravado brothers.
Did not know that at all. That was, yeah, nowhere near on my mind.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
he and his I don't know if they're real brothers or just kayfabe brothers, but they were tag team special. They were a tag team. They were like the fucking Young Bucks basically. And they were like just like a package deal. They were a tag team, and I don't know what happened to Lance Bravado or Lancelot Bravado because they went by both names, but Harlem ended up becoming Andre Chase. And that's who we have now. And he is back in a tag team now. And he is a tag team champion. And it might be his first time holding a tag team championship in a major promotion, actually. Yeah. Or no, because he and Duke held the tag titles before. So this is his second time now. So he, even in WWE, he is basically booked like a tag team specialist after having been part of a like stuck like glue literal brothers tag team in his entire indie career. Now he comes to WWE, and even in NXT, he is a tag team wrestler. I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah. And now a two-time NXT tag team champion. It's
With
pretty
different
fucking wild.
partners, even.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of the
And
antithesis of his indie career.
he hasn't won a tag title with you, Riley, you fucking dweeb. Anyway,
He never will because, you can only carry so much.
exactly.
And
So
you could
I'm
argue that he's the one getting carried in these tag teams because Duke and Ridge are such fucking hosses.
yeah. Oh man, so I'm curious where this will go. I'm curious, if there will be resentments, turns, all that good shit that I love. And yeah, I guess for now, while peace seemingly prevails, congratulations to Chase U. And that was pretty much NXT. Yes, yeah, because there was nothing after them celebrating. It was just a big celebration that they did. So really cool for those guys.
Before we
And
move on, did you know that Izzy Dame and Braun Breaker are an item?
oh no, because I knew he dated Core, but then I knew they broke up. I didn't know that Braun was already like off the market again. That's interesting.
I almost have to wonder if like that's why they broke up is because like Braun was more like he wanted to trade, he wanted to switch it up.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, man, maybe, but hey, I'm sure Braun. I don't know. Maybe he'll settle with her. Maybe his person he settles with isn't until like another 5 years down the road. You never fucking know. But as long as everybody's happy and safe and all that shit, Mazel tov to him, I guess. But yeah, that was NXT. I know there was some stuff you want to talk about with AEW, so I'm gonna give you the floor to do that now. So
Yeah, so AEW opened with Mercedes Moné versus Hikaru Shida. It was a fun match. But here's the crazy thing about this. AEW Dynamite has been around and it's been on TV since I want to say September of 2019.
yeah,
And in its near 5 year history at this point, this is the first time ever that AEW Dynamite has opened with a women's match.
that's ridiculous. Jesus Christ.
I just, you can't write this shit, man. And clearly Tony Khan can't write much of anything.
Yeah, I guess not.
Jesus Christ. The only other stuff, though, that I really wanted to talk about regarding AEW, other than just pointing that sad fact out, was Mariah, man. Mariah May had such a good fucking video this week.
Yeah, she did. It was fire, literally and figuratively.
It was. I posted it in our Discord on the Wrestling Discussion channel. It was so good. I loved her ending line where she says, "I'm gonna be the one that writes your eulogy." Oh my god, it was fucking cinema.
Yeah, I really love that. We know how good Mariah is. You and I have been talking her up forever, but I'm happy to see her get to showcase that on a platform that is hemorrhaging viewership, mind you, but is still probably bigger than Stardom. So I'm just glad that people are seeing her for the
Yeah.
amazing talent that she is.
Yeah.
God,
I
I
mean,
wish
here's the
Jamie.
thing with Stardom, I feel like you can probably measure the number of people who are subscribed to Stardom World in like 5 figure numbers, like under 100,000, like probably like I would guess like 20 to 50,000 if I'm just estimating.
Yeah,
But we know that AEW's viewership is in the hundreds of thousands. Like even if they've been as low as 600,000, I think this week's episode was like 700K, and that's like you know a factor of like 10 times, 10 plus times more than Stardom has. So still super happy to get that many eyes on Mariah doing this amazing work, and I really really hope that Mina, who also was on Dynamite this week, giving a very brief interview, just talking about how upset she is that Mariah and Tony broke up now. I really hope Mina helps Mariah to beat Tony at Wembley, man. That's the dream.
I hope she does, man. I really hope she does. I love Mariah and Mina together. Rose gold for fucking ever. True love never fucking dies. So is there anything else you want to talk about from AEW?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you see the MM collection thing with Top Flight?
No, I did not.
Oh, I'm pinging you in it. We're getting live reactions.
Oh, geez. Okay.
It's so funny, dude.
Okay. Let's see.
There it is. I pinged you.
All right. Yeah, because I remember that Sean posted it. I'm just glad that you pinged me so I don't have to go all the way up. All right, let's do this. Um, okay, Layla Gray on the apron. Oh God. Oh man, that's so he's just so torn about this. Wow. Oh, the super kick. Okay, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. I just have a question though. Is it a true fact like about Mansoor that he's like bi or something? Like, is that like what they're alluding to? Like, because I was just curious about that watching
I
that clip.
look, dude. I don't know anything about his personal life. I just think it's cool that they're even portraying it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because being gay has been a bit more normalized in wrestling, but I feel like biphobia is actually still kind of an understated prejudice that goes on.
Yeah, I've heard
Um,
about that too. Yeah, for sure.
so like if that is the case, really cool. And even if it's not, it's like the bi community I think can lay claim to this as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that's really cool. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, no, that was the main other thing. I was just, yeah, the three things I wanted to talk about. The weird fact about that being the first ever women's match to open a Dynamite, the Mariah video, and this was just too funny to not bring up.
Absolutely. All right, did you do any extracurriculars this week?
No,
I watched Batista versus Simon Dean before we actually went live with this. That's the only extracurricular that I
Simon
did.
Dean, dude, I loved Simon. Simon Dean might have been the first heel who was like a new character to me that I immediately liked, even though he was a heel.
Yeah, it was a great comedic match because he tries to put the like the muscle milkshakes on Batista, and then he drinks them and he's like, "I feel bigger, I feel stronger." And Simon, "Yeah, Dave, I feel more aggressive." Never give Dave a mic when you're in proximity to him because he will attack you afterwards. He did the same thing to fucking
Ray,
Ray. I'm gonna take your head off. Don't give this man a mic and get close to him. You can do
yeah,
one or the other, but not both. All right? Fuck. If he's close with you and then he's like, "Give me a mic," you should start sweating immediately. I know I would. So yeah, it was a great comedic match where he kind of powers up with the milkshakes. And it's funny, I watched it because I was drinking a protein shake and I was kind of in the mood to watch that match. So I'm like, oh cool,
nice.
this
Are you
fits.
still on your Ensure Max Protein, or have you found something better?
No, Christy actually got these. They're called Owen shakes, so it's an acronym for only what you need, and it was an actual nutrition shake, and it was chocolate. It was very good. Um,
Nice.
so yeah. So I guess if that's the only extracurricular I did, we can get to questions. And Super Blue not missing a fucking beat. He comes out with a question. Um, okay, I don't know if he's asking where to watch or will we watch the G1 finals and who do you think will win? Even though I'm excited about the G1 final, I'm not so inclined to watch it at least like live. I'll wait for Daily Motion to upload it, I guess, in a couple days. I'm expecting Suji to win personally, although I am actually more partial to Zach winning. I'm a big ZSJ fan. I just haven't been getting excited about him the last couple of years because, well, New Japan didn't seem like they were going to do anything really important with him besides put a hideous fucking TV title on him. So, what about you, Ashton? Who do you think is going to win the G1 final?
I've been saying all along that it's going to be Tsuji, and I do think he's going to win, but I don't think he's going to beat Naito at Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, we will cross that bridge when we come to it, one step at a time. So, we're both in agreement about Suji winning. I think you emotionally also want Suji to win more than Zach, whereas I am the opposite in that regard. But it should be a great tournament final. I'm proud of New
Definitely,
Japan for
yeah.
making the right call. Like, finally, a G1 final where I'm like, oh, cool.
Good
That's really
job,
nice.
New Japan. Proud of you.
I know. Look at you, New Japan, doing stuff. All right, next question. This might be one of the shortest
Oh my
in review
goodness.
Q&As ever. Yeah.
Foster said, I still think Suji wins, and I want him to win.
Yeah, there we go. I know me and Curtis I think are on the same wavelength. I think he's rooting for ZSJ as well.
And my mom even said, go Suji.
Thoughts on Lola helping Tatum up after the match? Not surprising because I think she's been face for a while since the Roxanne match. In fact, even a little before the Roxanne match, like the build up.
Yeah.
So they're just continuing with Lola Vice as a babyface, which is interesting. Now Foster, to go a bit deeper in your question, we know that Tatum I think probably wants friends, even though you've got to be a friend to get friends, and she wasn't exactly the best friend to Lyra. That's just me. But just the idea that Wendy kind of put her in the sleeper and then Tatum seemed to have no one. And then Lola, like, if they're actually going to tease that Lola, of all people, would be Tatum's friend and they do a like, oh my God, but they couldn't be any more opposite and they're friends. It's kind of a tired
What?
story, but dude, I know, right? It's kind of a tired story, but if you get the right people, it can work. I don't know if these are the right people, but that's why we're doing it, I guess. So I think that could be interesting. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah. I mean, if it does lead to Tatum wanting to be Lola's friend and Lola actually being willing to accept her, I am so into that. I love that for both of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Especially
Lola
because, yeah,
catches a lot of the unnecessary shit. But if we can just get a storyline where she's actually just nice to someone who all she wants is a good friend, and Tatum is continues to be herself in the sense that like she's kind of like weird and off-putting or whatever, but like doesn't do any like weird shit to Lola, and Lola just kind of accepts her, and they're just actual like good friends. Fucking amazing. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Lola, I just, keep your head on a swivel if you win the title because then Tatum's going to be looking at the relationship differently. because that's like her whole
Fuck.
character. She loves shiny things and especially championships.
Yeah,
So
because you and I both have agreed that Lola's probably uh maybe not next in line, but probably destined for the North American Women's Championship.
yes, yes.
So
So
we'll see.
yeah,
We'll see how
yeah.
long that takes.
All right. Any other questions, guys?
I think it's time to get our little countdown thingamabob going.
Yeah, well, I heard that. So I'm like, I'm right there with you, bud. All right. Three, two. I'm not doing
Going
the going one stuff.
once,
I'm gonna
yeah,
start.
going
Yeah, yeah,
twice,
yeah.
going
Going
three
three times.
times.
Closing the gate,
And that
baby.
door's closed, y'all.
All right. Wow, that was a very quick Q&A. Don't mind it though. Not complaining. High spots, low shots. You know what? Low shot, Sami Zayn. You're definitively out of the IC title picture. You literally got speared out of the title picture. But you know what though? It's not all bad because now you can focus on what actually matters: winning the tag team titles with Jay fucking Uso. Do it. Do it for the fam. Do it for the gram, and do it for everything in between. Just fucking do it. Who's your low shot?
My low shot is going to be hmm. Um I'm gonna say Grayson Waller.
That makes sense.
He talked so much shit and then he lost.
Yeah, he really did. He really did.
Yeah.
Uh High spot for me is gonna be Jacob Fatu because he 1v1 Roman Reigns and he emasculated his tribal chief, and he's such a fucking Samoan giga chat about it that he doesn't even want power. He's just like, I did it just cause. I did it because I can.
I did it because I love you, Solo.
Yeah, and then Solo's like, I love you too, but he's clutching that Ule Fala because he
Oh
knows.
yeah.
It's like
That Ule
I can't
Fala might as well have been pearls.
I can't compete with that. You're damn right you can't, you fucking knockoff. Know your fucking place. And if you screw up again, I hope Jacob Fatu doesn't show you any mercy the next time around. He literally broke his foot for you, for fuck's sake.
You better hope
Um,
Jacob doesn't get any ideas there, pal.
no, let him get all the ideas because I'm sick of this shit. All right. So Jacob Fatu is my high spot, and low key, it's kind of my tribal chief until Roman Reigns officially gets it back.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I went there and I brought it back because I'm right.
Oh shit. Yeah. So honorary high spot is going to Mercedes Monet because
Okay.
she won the first ever opening women's match to a Dynamite. That's huge.
Yeah.
But my actual high spot is going to go to Obafemi because he's still the best thing going in at least NXT, if not all of wrestling right now. And he retained his North American Championship against Otis.
Hell yeah.
And
All
I
right.
will say too, I think now that Tony D has lost the Heritage Cup, it seems like he's probably going to be Oba's next challenger. But like Tony D, Tony D's a power wrestler, and like when you get two power wrestlers going against each other, the one that wins is usually the one that's more powerful, and the one that's more powerful is usually the one with more girth. And yeah, I'm not gonna really continue there because I think it's pretty clear who's got more girth.
Anderson's like, you see where I'm going with this. Also Tony D, you know I love him, right? But I do have to say he kind of has it coming because we don't forget that he cut off Oba a few weeks ago, and like, you don't do that to me. So yeah, good luck with that, Tony. All right, guys. With that said, this has been In Review. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling
Yeah.
fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my coordinating commentary. And guys, be sure to like the video, should file out, subscribe with the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC. And we will see you guys Tuesday at 5 for Stardom. We're going to be doing, what was it, 8:15 show live reaction. It's going to be 7 matches from that. It's going to be fucking nuts. And then we're going to be doing more on Thursday, which I think should be like what, the 18th and the 19th, if I remember correctly.
There might
Stardom
have
shows.
been a third show mixed in there somewhere, but yeah, we've got more stuff coming Thursday too.
But then, like in between all that, just so I don't forget, we are doing Muddy Gold Wednesday. So
Yes.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's the Joshi portion of the week, baby.
Yeah, Joshi has taken over our midweek.
Hell yeah. To keep it from being a midweek. And then of course, yeah, yeah. Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. If you're a Discord member, join us in live wrestling discussion for watch-alongs with those shows. Always a good time. Especially because Raw, I think, is my favorite program going. I do hope to be there Monday. I know my hours have been really fucked. But yeah, I mean, Braun Breaker is Intercontinental Champion. What's not to love? So yeah, be sure to join that. And then if you're just here for this, where you're like, man, I'm old, I'm tired, and I have other things that are important to me. I ain't got time for wrestling. I just want to be recapped. So in case I want to jump back into it, I can. Well, then we got you covered there too, because you can join us again next Saturday at 10:30 for more in review, where we recap the big events from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and kind of talk about everything else mixed in. So with that said, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you Tuesday, you Joshi lovers for Stardom, and be good to yourselves and each other. Tune in. Peace out.